Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Sports in Otero County, the final week of regular season high school football. I am Mark Rudi from the Alamogordo Daily News, as always with the voice of the Alamogordo Tigers, Charles Winiecki from ESPN 103.7. We talk about high school football here in Otero County. We'll start with Alamogordo, and Charles, a 48-12 loss for Alamogordo to Mayfield on Friday night. And you said it during the broadcast. We talked about it at halftime. Just, you got to be amazed with the speed of Mayfield, and they're starting to turn it on right at this time, after we kind of had been saying that Mayfield was down a little bit this year too.
Well, I'm sure you could find some flaws in what the Tigers did on Friday night, but I just I give it to Mayfield. I think all of us really underestimated how good that football team was this year. They're the fastest team. I think they're the best skill team I've seen this year, just in terms of their skill players. They change in two different quarterbacks between Javika Johnson, I think I have his name correctly. Yep. Kavika Johnson, I think is his name. And Andrew Cerna, the way, their ability to go back and forth and be able to play as well as they did. I mean, you can't help be impressed, but, the Bradleys have been doing it for years and years and years, and we shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Michael Bradley after the game. That's what he said. It's hard to defend, and both those quarterbacks do take first-team snaps. So, watch out for Mayfield if you're for the playoffs. And, of course, they get Las Cruces High this Friday night at Aggie Memorial, which, of course, is always a great rivalry. Not just one of the best here in New Mexico, but definitely one of the best in the nation as well. As far as Alamogordo goes, they just couldn't get anything going on the offensive side, really, except the exception of Cody Alpar's first touchdown in the series. Just really couldn't get it working from there, and just defense couldn't find a way to stop Mayfield's rushing attack. You just kind of mentioned it there. Skill players, and they allowed the big play too, and they couldn't do that.
That was the big thing. The whole deal was we can't allow big plays, and they allowed big plays all night long. So, that's probably the one thing you can look at more than anything else. And the Mayfield defense was very good.
Dropped 2-7 to Alamogordo, and it probably at this point eliminated from any playoff contention, I would say. But the good news is you do get Onyate in here. I feel like this is two even teams. This is an absolute winnable game for the Tigers if they can beat the Black Knights. Onyate, we thought maybe was going to be a little bit better this year with the second season with Caleb Hall and Curtis Hines, the quarterback there. And they're still struggling a little bit, are the Knights, but I feel like absolutely it's a winnable game for Alamogordo to finish off the season.
Yep, the Tigers, it's one that they'd love to have. It's a game you're just playing for pride on both sides. Both teams want to finish off with a district win. And we'll see what happens. You got a lot of guys that, will be back next year and would like to finish off on a high note.
That'll be kickoff will be 7 o'clock. It is the final regular season game of the year at Tiger Stadium. If you can't make it out, of course, Charles has the call. We'll both be there on Twitter as well. He has a 6:45 pregame and a 7 o'clock kickoff out at Tiger Stadium. Moving to Tularosa, of course, they had a bye week this week. They have already clinched the district championship. They get Cobre on the road this week at 7 o'clock. I don't think Tularosa will have any issues with Cobre on Friday night. Cobre did give Hatch Valley some fits. However, Hatch Valley had players out because of discipline issues, from what I heard. And for this point for Tularosa, they're rolling right now, and they're just playing for seeding at this point.
It's a tune-up game, and I think the biggest thing you want to come out of this game, obviously, to get the victory, but I think the other part about it is to make sure that nobody gets hurt. I think that'll be the biggest thing for them, is to make sure that somebody doesn't come out of the game that ends up getting somebody like Jim Coleman or Jared Rocha banged up. You will have a bye week most likely, but that's, I think, number one for them.
Yeah, at this point, of course, the 2A playoffs were expanded, so if Tularosa does get a top 4 seed, which I anticipate they will, they'll get a bye in the first round of the playoffs, and if they win this game, they should get a 2 seed, I would think as well. Maybe an outside chance of a 1 seed. We'll have to see with that Santa Rosa Texaco game this weekend. So that game is actually out in Cobre. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. For that one, for the final regular season game for that one. Mescalero beat Cloudcroft 58-13 on Friday night. Give it to the Chiefs on that one and their offense right there. I thought that game was going to be a little closer, and I honestly thought Cloudcroft was the favorite, but good win for Mescalero to end the season. They both ended the season 2-7, did Cloudcroft and Mescalero. Mescalero, of course, finished 3rd district, Cloudcroft last, going 0-4. For those teams, of course, they didn't make the postseason, but for them it was just about for them getting a win to finish off the season. So, also, of course, Sunday is Selection Sunday, so you can follow me on Twitter at mrudy19. I'm sure Charles will be a little bit active, too, at CharlesW25. And, of course, our Facebook pages as well, Alamogordo Daily News Sports and ESPN 103, Alamogordo 103.7. So, for sports in Otero County, we'll see you next week. We'll talk a little bit about playoff football next week. So, we'll see you next week.